Welcome, dear viewers, to Whatever You Need, where we don't just chase celebrity headlines, we peel back the curtain to explore what really happened behind the flashes, the laughter, and the moments that linger long after the red carpet fades. If you love stories told with truth, texture, and a touch of intrigue, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the join button to help us continue bringing you the stories the headlines only hint at. Tonight, we're stepping into the golden light of the Ataturk Cultural Center, a night charged with glamour, tension, and one unexpected comment that echoed far beyond its moment. The film was Sleepyhead. The faces were Barış Arduç, Elçin Sangu, and the small, disarmingly candid actor who unknowingly turned the evening into a national talking point, Sadi. The air outside the Ataturk Cultural Center shimmered with flashlights, designer perfumes, and the hum of whispered predictions. Sleepyhead was finally premiering, Baris's long-anticipated return to the big screen, but this time, the stakes were doubled. He wasn't just leading the cast, he was also directing it. That kind of leap demands courage, and the carpet beneath his shoes seemed to understand it, glimmering like applause. Moments later, the youngest member of the cast appeared, little Sadi, 9 years old, holding his mother's hand and glowing with that fearless innocence only children carry into grown-up rooms. Cameras adored him. The audience adored him. He answered questions with a kind of unfiltered wit that turned every sentence into a headline. And then came the line that changed everything. When asked what he had learned from working with Baris, Sadi paused, the kind of deliberate silence that children create, without even realizing the tension they build. Then, with a mischievous smile, he said, "Baris looks amazing but acts like he's full of himself. When I grow up, I won't be like that." It was innocent, maybe even adorable. But the air cracked. A ripple of laughter, light but uneasy, passed through the room. Within minutes, phones were raised. Clips traveled faster than words. By the time the screening ended, the internet had already chosen its narrative. On Twitter, he was dubbed the tiny truth-teller. On Instagram, the quote looped over slow-motion footage of Baris's red carpet entrance. On TikTok, it became a trending soundbite. The humor turned sharp at the edges, even the kids said it became a rallying cry. It didn't matter that nuance dies quickly online. The word ego had reattached itself to Baris's name like static, a single spark reigniting an old rumor. He didn't bristle. He didn't deflect. He simply smiled, softly, as if the moment belonged to a different scale of importance. "I adore Sadi," he said, "he's clever, he's honest, and the future's lucky to have him." No sarcasm. No correction. Just grace wrapped in simplicity. That one response, unbothered, balanced, disarmed half the room. And standing beside him, Elçin reached out, gave his arm the gentlest squeeze, and they moved forward together. No words. No drama. Just quiet solidarity that spoke louder than any interview. It's easy to forget, in the chaos of trending moments, that Sleepyhead itself was more than a premiere, it was a personal turning point. The film traces the emotional excavation of a man revisiting his past, stitched with memories that still pulse under the skin. Sadi, as the younger version of Baris's character, carried the film's emotional foundation, his performance luminous, raw, and heartbreakingly sincere. To some, that intensity reads as coldness. To others, it's respect for the craft, for the people, for the story. Crew members later described him as observant rather than distant, a perfectionist rather than proud. He watched every take closely, often crouching to meet Sadi's gaze, offering quiet direction before fading back behind the monitor. It was not arrogance, it was immersion. But the internet doesn't speak that language, it speaks in sound bites. By morning, the child's words had become a reflection of something much bigger, the ongoing conversation about confidence versus conceit in celebrity culture. Was the boy right, people asked, or simply honest in a way adults forget how to be? Commentators weighed in like clockwork. Demet Özdemir posted that children often express truths without agenda. Hazal Kaya echoed that sentiment, praising the purity of young performers. Yet, as opinions collided, the noise began to overshadow the work itself. It wasn't a response, it was a principle. This wasn't the first time Baris had been misunderstood. Those who followed his journey from romantic leads to layered, darker characters know that his silence is rarely emptiness, it's preparation. Colleagues say he carries a set like a conductor holds a symphony, not out of vanity, but out of responsibility. On premiere night, he looked immaculate, a black suit cut with quiet elegance, no ornamentation, no attempt to outshine anyone else. Just presence. When he smiled at the mention of Sadi's words, it was the kind of smile that understood both the humor and the hazard of fame. That, perhaps, is his quiet rebellion, meeting gossip with grace. For all the frenzy, Sleepyhead stands firm. Critics have praised its emotional maturity, the symmetry of its structure, the tenderness buried under its somber tone. The conversation that spun from a child's honesty only amplified its themes: memory, reflection, the innocence that shapes identity. In a way, Sadi's quip became an unintentional echo of the film's very heart: how perception shapes truth. What looks like ego might be discipline. What sounds like judgment might be affection. And that's why this night mattered more than the trending charts suggested. It wasn't about embarrassment or scandal. It was about how easily the modern audience reads devotion as distance. Through it all, Elçin Sangu remained an anchor, poised, composed, smiling softly when the questions turned sharp. She's been through her share of public interpretations, of narratives rewritten by outsiders. Maybe that's why she didn't need to explain anything. She knows the noise will fade. The work won't. By dawn, headlines began to shift. The initial spark of controversy cooled into admiration for how both actors handled the moment. Critics revisited the film, fans dissected Baris' dual role, and social media turned from teasing to applause. And in that transformation, one thing became clear: Sleepyhead had done exactly what art should do: provoke, unsettle, make people feel. Even the misunderstanding had meaning. Was Sadi's moment just innocent honesty, or did he sense something deeper? Do you think Baris' calm response was wisdom or careful control? Let us know what you think in the comments. We love hearing your takes. And if you want more behind-the-scenes looks into the stories shaping Turkish entertainment, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to whatever you need, and tap the join button to support the channel directly. Your support keeps this community alive and the stories unfolding. Because here at Whatever You Need, we don't chase drama, we chase truth, the kind that hides between the lines. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and remember, sometimes, the smallest voices reveal the biggest truths.